I'm Gerald Bentley. This is Wrestling with Sales. Today we are joined by one of the newest residents of Missouri, all the way from down under in Australia, Shazza
Shazza.
McKenzie. She's coming to take over wrestling in America, and she's talking about how hard of a job it is, how hard the work is to be a heartbreaker or heartbreaker. Shazza, hey, thanks for
That's
joining me
really
here.
funny. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, hey, I was just doing a little background and checking out the socials, and I know you're really active on the Instagram and Facebook. I thought you had a great video that you just put up, set to a kind of a hard rock version of "It's
There's some
Me, I'm the problem, it's me."
Taylor
Uh,
Swift. There's always
yeah,
time for Taylor Swift.
I thought it was an excellent message though, because it really kind of ties into the reason why I wanted to make the show based on combat sports and pro wrestling. We're talking kind of targeting salespeople and sales professionals who get up every day and they go to work. And really, at the end of the day, the biggest enemy of any salesperson is me. It's you. Did you do the work? Did you put in the time? And I thought you gave a great, basically short monologue talking about the work that you've put in, the dedication that you've put in to become a full-time professional wrestler. Can you talk a little bit about that? I thought it was really tremendous.
Oh my gosh. I always tell people, like, to bring it back to the sales thing. I always tell people, um, wrestling is so hard because you're selling a product, and the product you're selling is yourself, which
Sure.
is like I have a sales background myself, so I like
Oh,
am aware
okay.
of, so I worked in the fitness industry for many years.
Okay.
So I worked in sales in the fitness industry. So I always brought it back to that as well when I come to what we're doing in the ring and how we're presenting ourselves, because the whole job is to sell the crowd on you. It's to sell the person running the show on you, and
Sure.
it's to sell everyone on the fact that you're the attraction that's going to bring people that people want to see, and that you're worth whatever amount of money you're being paid, and you're worth whatever it is that you're asking for. And like, that's your sales. That's what you're doing. You're selling yourself with that. The journey to become a professional wrestler, to move to the other side of the world, is
Yeah.
was a crazy one. Basically, I've been wrestling for, now we're coming up to about 15 years. And I think, like, the pandemic happened, and we were, as Australians, we were very, like, our border was shut. Like, we were not allowed to leave the country. And so for about 2 years, I was locked in my country. And in that time, I kind of was like, oh, well, I guess maybe that's like the end of my career, I guess.
Hmm.
Like, maybe this is, I'm never going to be able to, like, go to America or whatever again. And then when the borders did open, I came over for a short tour, because I was like, okay, we'll do like one last run. We'll get it out of our system. It'll be great. I did this 3-month tour last year, and I came back and I just went, oh no, I need to go. Like,
Yeah.
I've got plenty more years in me. I don't know why I was like, oh, I'm so old and everything's going to end and I have to quit now. And I was like, oh no, I've had 2 years to rest and recover, and now I'm ready. Like, now I'm like even better, because it's like being fresh at the start, but now I have all the knowledge and the experience and everything on top of it. So I'm like unstoppable with it all. Not unstoppable, but I try to be. But the whole process was exhausting, and the most painfully expensive and time consuming and mentally draining experience of my life. But I knew at the end of it, it was worth it. And every day I would just go to bed and I would say, I'm a lucky girl and everything's going to work out. And so everything is going to work out, because we just manifest positivity.
Yeah. As a dealer, you spend a lot of time buying cars at auction. If you're using Edge Pipeline to manage your purchases, then this is big news. Montway Auto Transport has partnered with Auction Edge to add a transportation option onto Edge Pipeline. Now dealers can manage their auction buys and book transportation with just one click right in the Edge Pipeline platform. As a nationwide leader in auto transport, Montway understands a dealer's need for speed and efficiency and can arrange single or multi vehicle moves from auction to any lot in the country. With Montway's technology, dealers can gain full transit visibility and tracking after an order has been booked, making it much easier to manage inventory. buy, ship, and track all in Edge Pipeline. Go to www.montway.com/WS to learn more. Yeah, and you know what? I think everyone out there can relate to the COVID experience because even though it's more or less behind us, there's still cases, there's still people in hospitals from it, but the shutdown's gone, and everyone's really had to deal with the result of basically having your life paused for a year and a half, 2 years. And how did that motivate you? Did you just feel like, hey, now's the time? I was able to kind of recoup and I'm going to go for it. And, really, you're making some big impacts. You were just on Ring of Honor quite
Hey.
recently. So you're making that national impact. What was the main motivator for you?
So like before the pandemic, my career was pretty like I had really good momentum going on there. I'd done quite a few AEW appearances. I'd done it work for NXT. I was I don't know, hot or whatever on the
Uh-huh.
scene as it is. And then the pandemic happened. And when it first happened, it was really hard mentally. And like there was like a big struggle to deal with it because it was like, what are we doing? Why, like, how long is this lasting? What are we like, what's happening here? And so that first like 3 months or whatever were horrible. But then one day I think I just went, okay, well, I could be sad that this is what I have, but like this is the cards that I've been dealt. I could be sad that I'm, stuck in Australia and I can't go and wrestle around the world. And all these people are on TV wrestling and it could be me, but it's not me, but whatever. But instead I went, okay, well, I've got all this downtime because I can't go to work because my work's shut because I worked at a gym and so gyms are all shut.
Oh, yeah.
I said, okay, well, what can I do with this spare time? And I worked out. I did a lot of tape study. I consumed it. I started a podcast during that time as well because I was like, I
Okay.
still need to stay relevant with and be creating content so that people don't forget who I am to an extent. And I had spare time to do it at that time. I do not have time to do a podcast now. I mean, I have time to do this podcast, but I don't have time to do my own. It stresses me out. So I understand the stress of doing a podcast. But I took a few months to be sad and throw a little pity party. And then I went, all right, let's go. Let's get back to work. It's, once in a lifetime pandemic, but we got work to do and we're still young. My body feels fine. Knock on wood. My body feels fine. Everything feels good. And I was like, I've got more years left in me. Let's just go as hard as we can and put as much as we can into this. And I always say till the wheels fall off or whatever. So I just keep trying, just keep going. And, the journey is wild. You get knocked down so many times.
Sure.
The amount of rejection and no's that I've gotten, I think there's something like mentally wrong with me because I don't you just become like so immune to being told no that you go, okay, no. Okay, well then I'm going to, whatever you didn't see, someone else is going to see, and I'm just going to keep working harder and someone else is going to say yes. And you just keep going and just have to keep on pushing and keep on going. And it's hard sometimes, but sometimes it leads you to having a midlife crisis and moving across the world. So
Yeah, and let me ask you about that because you're now close to where you're going to be on Saturday, May 13th, when Central States Wrestling presents Aftershock, the match sponsored by this show, Wrestling with Sales. You're going to be facing Heather Reckless, first Kansas City appearance, I believe, and now that you're based in St. Louis, you're going to be going to more of these, regional territory matches. What goes into the life? What's the schedule of a full-time pro wrestler in America?
Well, it's going to be a lot easier in about 2 hours. My brand new car, well, not brand new car, but my car is finally arriving. I bought
Awesome.
a car. And so once I have a car, life will be okay. Because right now I'm just like, hey, can anyone take me here? Can anyone take me here? Can anyone, or like walking around or whatever. So once I have a car,
No, a car will be great.
Yeah, hitting the roads, making the towns. It's a chaotic. I don't because I'm so used to it. When I'm over here, I live in this like constant like bubble of, okay, well, I've just got to wrestle more. I've just got to wrestle more. I've just got to where can I get my name out? Where can I make money? What can I do? What can I like? I'm constantly training. I'm constantly thinking of what I can do to be top of my level.
Sure.
So like it just becomes like second nature. Like it's like, okay, well, Thursday nights I have to tan, I have to pack, and then Friday I'm on the road. Sunday night maybe I'll be back, maybe Monday morning. We just keep going and going and going and live out of a suitcase and sort of get used to it.
Yeah, it's pretty much every weekend.
I try to be.
Yeah.
I've had one weekend off, which was ironically WrestleMania weekend, because I didn't go to WrestleMania week in LA, so no one else was running anywhere else.
Yeah, everybody
I was like, no,
there.
that's okay. I can take a weekend to just, relax and enjoy myself.
Now, what's been the biggest change? I mean, you've been back and forth from America. What's been the biggest change out of coming to America full time?
I mean, it's just all the really annoying, boring government stuff. Like, honestly, It's just very boring, like social security and getting my license and getting health insurance. Like, everything here is 20 times more difficult than it needs to be. Like, all the systems could be so much simpler, but they're just not.
That's fair.
They're just not. They just drive me insane. But we're making it work.
Well, and heck, even getting cars right now is complicated. You have to wait for them. You have to get them shipped around. And, that's why our friends at Montway Auto Transport sponsor the show, because they're able to help dealerships get cars to the lot quicker. So that way, when the Heartbreak Core comes into your dealership, you have the car ready for her, and you don't have to tell Shazza that she has to wait to get a car delivered to her.
I would love to have waited for my car.
Yeah, get it right there. Yeah, but we'll take a quick break here, and we'll let Montway talk a little bit more about Montway Auto Transport and what MAP can do for you as a dealer. Okay, we'll pop that in later.
I think.
So back here, and the biggest thing I wanted to ask again is, what made you get into pro wrestling after being in physical fitness sales? What made you take that leap?
So I think they both sort of combined together. I saw wrestling when I was like 15. I mean, I'd seen it earlier, but I remember specifically seeing Trish Stratus when I was 15 and going, okay, this is it. Like, this is what I want to do. I was like, she's just so like gorgeous, and she's so strong, and she's so like powerful, and she's just kicking ass. And I was like, this is so cool. Like, this is what I want to do. So I saw that, and then I went, well, if I want to do this, I need to be an athlete. And I was not an athlete growing up.
Okay.
At all. I was like a dancer and a like drama kid and stuff. I was always dramatic, but I was never an athlete.
It's just part of it.
Yeah, exactly. So I saw Trish and I went, okay, well, I need to be an athlete. And so then I joined a gym at 16, and I just became like really intrigued with the fitness industry because I wanted to be a wrestler. And so they both kind of went hand in hand. Like, I don't think I would have gotten into the fitness industry, which I was in for probably about the same amount of time, probably about the last 15 years.
Okay.
I've only just I was working at a gym that I've worked at for the last 11 years, up until March when I moved over here. But like they both just kind of the worlds sort of mesh together. Like, and you get a lot of people that will work in the fitness industry and that will work in wrestling. But the reason I ended up in like the sales side of things is, one, like customer service is like an enjoyable part of my life. And also I like structure, and I tried being a trainer, and I don't like running on other people's time. Which you do run with sales to some extent, but not to the extent of having to train people at 5 a.m. and then having to train people at 9 p.m. later. And I would just go insane.
No, that's fair.
I need regular hours, which sounds crazy because I'm like, but now I just wrestle whenever.
Yeah. Was there enough independent pro wrestling in Australia to make it work, or
no.
kind of run into it? Because I know there's World Series wrestling, but that's only about 3 months a year. So it's not like here where you got
that. Yeah.
multiple promotions running full time and
Yeah.
more promotions
So
every day, it seems.
yeah, we'd wrestle like maybe like 3 or 4 times a month, but
Hmm.
like nothing like crazy. Whereas here, I wrestle 3 to 4 times a week, so it's a completely different ball game of stuff. But I thrive on the chaos of being over here.
Yeah. And you got a group in St. Louis you're going to be able to train with, the Team Ambition, which has done some great work. And you've seen their wrestlers making around, especially to Central States. I know Camaro, the Quad Father's been up here quite a bit. And
I'm sure
Tootie
they're
Lynn
gonna love.
Ramsey, the Blue Dragon, was just up here.
They're gonna love having to drive me up there. No,
Is
it'll be good.
driving here that much different than Australia?
Yes.
Yeah.
our
Oh,
roads are our roads are opposite.
yeah.
Our car seats are up. Like our car is like I would sit on the right
Sure.
in my car back home, and here you sit on the left. So I had to do like a whole driving test. There's also like lots of weird little like road rules that I didn't know. Like you guys have those like lanes where you can like turn either way, and I'm like, this is
Uh-huh.
dangerous. I don't like this. And you can turn right on red. We can't do that in Australia. So like, there's lots of times when I was like learning to drive because I had a rental for like a week to make sure I knew how to drive before I did
Sure.
my driver's test. I'd be like stopped at a red light, but I was going to turn right, and then people would be honking me, and I'd be like, "Why are you honking? It's a
Yeah.
red light. What are
People
you?"
hammering the
And then
horn on you.
I figured it out. I was like, "Also, guys, chill. Like, I'll turn when it's safe. Let's chill."
And then you'll be able to get used to the I70 Speedway too, getting between St. Louis and Kansas City, where as soon as they clear the city, it's 80 or 100 or stop because nobody seems to slow down.
Jeez. All right. Well, I will be using the cruise control, and I will just hope that all works out.
Well, and let the other Team Ambition people drive,
Yeah,
maybe.
I'm not going to drive.
Let them take it easy. So
Exactly.
outside of Central States Wrestling, where can people see you in the next month or so?
I'll be back over at Freelance Wrestling in Chicago on the 12th.
Okay.
The week after, I've got on the 19th, I'm at Chicago Style Wrestling. On the 20th, I am at GCW in Detroit. And then on the 21st, I'm back in St. Louis for Glory Pro on the Sunday. And then the week after that, I'm heading to Vegas for a couple of days for the Double or Nothing weekend, and I've got to show up there. And then, oh gosh, I don't know. Lots of places.
That's great.
We just get around.
Yeah.
People,
Who are you going to be?
but more people can book me if they want. You can
That's
email
right.
me and book me. Book Shazza@hotmail.com. I want more wrestling.
Need more. What
Always
show are
more.
you going to be working at in Vegas? I also host Las Vegas Wrestling Scene.
I will be doing Poda. Ed in San Antonio does this like women's show every year for Double or Nothing.
Okay.
So I only have one show. So if you know people that are running shows in Las Vegas that weekend, I only have one show that weekend. So, and I'm there from Thursday till Monday. So available, but also do kind of just want to sit by the pool for.
Oh, there's a lot of them.
I was like, I need a holiday.
Yeah.
I need a vacation.
Have you been? You've been to Las Vegas before, right?
Yeah, I've been each year that Double or Nothing's been there. I've been to Double or Nothing. Yeah.
Did the show there. Awesome. Well, absolutely. So anybody in the Las Vegas wrestling scene that's watching this, you got to reach out to the Heartbreak Corps too.
I'll be there for 4 days. Because I don't know that much about the Las Vegas wrestling scene, but I wouldn't mind. Wouldn't mind like one extra booking while I was there.
Yeah, there's a lot there.
Between my lying by the pool and my drinking of the gigantic drinks and walking down the strip, somewhere in between all that.
Now, what's been your best match or your best run of matches since you've been in America? Either this run or just over the last few years?
I think every match I have, the goal is to get better. Like for example, like this last weekend, I had 3 so completely different matches. Like on Friday, I had this triple threat. that was at like a school gym, and it was like a school kids show. And then on Saturday, I wrestled Lee Moriarty, and we had like a technical like back and forth match there. And then on Sunday, I had a street fight with Laney Luck. So like three completely different matches in the span of a weekend. Is like, and I think that the goal is to just keep getting better and making sure that every time that you're in the ring that you're doing your best and progressing and all that sort of stuff. And that you, even if it's not your best match, that you've done something that you can learn from and work with. And, you know, there's always a lesson to be taken. And I think there's like this idea that you never stop learning. You have to keep growing and keep training and keep focusing on what you can do better. Cause once you get content and complacent and stuff, that's when it doesn't go great.
And that's really true in everything. I mean, that's 100% true in sales, because you stop trying and you start thinking, hey, you know, I'm good enough at this, and things just aren't working out my way. It's stacked against me. This isn't fair. That doesn't work in sales, and it definitely doesn't work in wrestling. No wrestling promoter wants to hear you say that. You got to go out there and got to go, right?
You got to go. You just got to keep getting better and keep going. And like, yeah, you're going to have off nights and you're going to have off days or whatever, but you take those experiences when you are off, and you go, well, what can I learn from this moment in time of how I was feeling?
Just to get one more mention in here, coming up this Saturday, May 13th, Central States Wrestling presents Aftershock, and we're going to see the Heartbreak Horror herself going up against Heather Reckless. Now, people that come into the match, what are they going to see from Shazza? What's your style? Who do you compare yourself to?
I'm probably going to have a bad attitude that night. Something tells me I'm going to be. Look, I've wrestled Heather a few times now, and she's a tough opponent. So I know that I can't come in and take things lightly. I know that she has a lot of high flying and sort of maneuvers and stuff in her arsenal. So my game plan is to keep her grounded and stop her from getting any of that. That's the plan. The plan is to keep her grounded. Whatever means necessary for that.
A little ground and pound.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, what wrestlers do you compare your style to? Somebody that hasn't seen you wrestle before, who would you say you resemble in the ring?
Gosh, I don't know who I'd resemble. Because I feel like my whole goal has always been to be unique and to be different to everyone else. Like my goal, I watch so much wrestling so that I can make sure I'm not doing what other people are doing. That's
good.
Like my goal has always been to be unique, to some extent.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy technical wrestling. It's my favorite thing to do. Do I get the opportunity to do it and showcase it on a regular basis? Probably not, because it just isn't what is necessary in a lot of situations.
Sure.
But I think as I'm progressing, I think I'm getting. At some point, I started throwing a lot of kicks. I don't know when that happened.
Okay.
People were like, "Hey, Shaz does kicks," and I was like, "I guess I kind of do." I don't know when that happened, but you know, there'll be some kicks, there'll be some technical wrestling, there'll be some suplexes. That's what I do. I don't know if there's anyone I can say that this is who I wrestle like because I think everyone is so unique and different. But maybe someone who is a fan of me can tell me that there's someone that I wrestle like, because I genuinely don't. I can't think, but there probably is someone.
Well, that's a fair answer, because you want to be yourself, right? You want to be the best version of you.
Yeah, exactly. I've never wanted to be mimicking anyone else or not copying anyone else. And I think like there's like the whole idea that you can take an idea and like you can copy an idea as long as you make it your own or whatever, which I wholeheartedly believe in. But yeah, I've just really tried to make sure that my stuff is my stuff and different, and hopefully that works out.
Excellent. Well, hey, let's go ahead and wind down. We'll go to the championship round.
Ooh,
Got the dealership rescue belt for you here.
hell yeah.
So, what style of or what wrestling promotion has been the most influential to you? I think you kind of answered it early, but
What did I say earlier?
Trish Stratus
Well,
Fate.
yeah, Trish
Yeah.
Stratus is definitely who, like, it's not that I grew up on the Divas. I didn't like, I got in just before the first Diva search. That's when I started watching wrestling.
Okay.
So, um, whilst I grew up on that, I always wanted to be a wrestler. But I always found like I always I wanted them to be able to wrestle more. But yeah, I think Trish is amazing. I think Trish is I think that Charlotte Flair is the best female professional wrestler of all time. So which is wild, I know, because Trish, but also Charlotte, I think, is phenomenal.
Sure.
And as far as like promotion, like as soon as I like started watching wrestling, I went like consumed everything. Like I was tape trading Ring of Honor DVDs and
Okay.
thereabout.
Okay.
Yeah, the rest of my life took a back seat, but
Yeah.
yeah, I became completely obsessed with like independent wrestling straight away. Big Shikara, like Shikara is the company that has like influenced my professional wrestling career probably the most. I spent months and months and months of my life training at the Wrestle Factory over the years, and training under Mike Quackenbush when
Okay.
he came to Australia and stuff. And so he's definitely one of the people that has really influenced my wrestling style. Like I definitely don't wrestle as well technically as that man, but I try.
Well, and Shakara really influential, and Orange Cassidy, the Best Friends. They've
Yeah, all of them. And I was lucky enough to train with all of them too.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Over the year,
Awesome.
like, because I trained there. My first trip over in 2012, I trained at the Wrestle Factory for 2 months. I did another 3 month stint in 2019. Quack came down to Australia in like 2016 or 2017. Yeah, I've been very blessed to learn from a lot of those guys and to share the ring with them in a training facility.
So we could say that even you actually got Orange Cassidy to care.
Yeah.
That's good, right? Get in there. How about dream opponents? Who would you like to wrestle that you haven't had a chance to yet?
Deonna Purrazzo. That's it.
Okay.
Deonna is my number one. I don't know why no one has let me wrestle her. No one has booked a singles match with me and Deonna. We had like one triple threat in 2018. It was me, her, and Indy Hartwell. But I just want to. I just think we'd have like when it comes to like technical wrestling, like
Yeah,
I said, that's
she's
what
up
I
there.
love doing, and so that's why I was like, I would really love to be able to get in the ring with her and just wrestle.
Oh, yeah. No, that makes perfect sense. And last one, where do you see yourself in a year? Just kind of following up off of that IG video you just posted about having
I
to put
mean,
the work in.
my goal is to enjoy what I'm doing. I don't have this goal to be signed. I don't have this goal to work for a specific company or anything like that. My goal is simply to make enough money that I can sustain and live and afford my life and
Yeah.
exist. Not be comfortable enough that I can live, and to enjoy what I'm doing. Because I spent a lot of years trying to get signed and like trying to look a certain way and be more diva-esque and stuff. And it's just not who I am, and it's not fun. And trying to wrestle a certain way to appease people is just not. It's not what I'm interested in. I just want to enjoy what I'm doing, and I want to tell stories in the ring, and I want to have fun, and I want to wrestle my friends, and which I get to do on the independents. So I just want to travel the world. I hope I get to. My dream is to go to Japan. So maybe, hopefully, in a year, I get a Japan stint, like just a little just a
Oh, there you
stint.
go.
Just one match will be fine. I'll do as many as they want me to do, but like one's fine. That's all I need.
So a little trip to Stardom or Pro Wrestling Noah and
It's a little
get a little
it's a little
Japanese
hot.
experience. Oh, that's awesome. Hey, Shazza, thanks for joining us here. And again, hey, coming up real soon, Central States Wrestling Aftershock, the match that we're presenting, Wrestling with Sales, sponsoring the match, Shazza McKenzie, the Heartbreak Core, taking on Heather Reckless. It's Saturday, May 13th, right here at the Lenexa, Kansas National Guard Armory. You can reach out to Central States Wrestling to get tickets for it. And of course, you can follow and subscribe to Wrestling with Sales, get a little bit of a different take on sales, what it takes to be successful, because all the lessons that Shazza's going through and teaching are definitely applicable to really every job, except you're not taking super kicks or cross bodies or leg locks, but metaphorically it's
Wouldn't
applicable.
recommend taking super kicks and leg locks.
No, it would be a bad idea. That would be a really aggressive sales close if you try to super kick your customer. It probably
Always
doesn't end
be
well.
closing.
Yeah, always. But maybe more of a submission hold.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's probably still a bit too much. Shazza, thanks for joining us here. Hey, before we go, where can the viewers find out more about you? Where can they follow you, or maybe even buy some Heartbreak Core merchandise?
Please follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Shazza_McKenzie. In my bio, there's a link to all my different merch stores and t-shirts and all that stuff. Other ways you can support me: Patreon, OnlyFans, Brand Army, all those sort of things.
Okay.
Everything's there. And
we'll have it in the description too, so you can just go right into the description and find it. Thanks for joining us on Wrestling with Sales. Thanks for stepping into the ring, Shazza. It was great talking to you.
Thank you.